I made over $2 million last year using YouTube and a very simple strategy. So in this video, I want to talk about, first of all, how to create a YouTube flywheel. Then I will reveal my YouTube monetization strategy. And then finally, I will talk about how to create a trust building engine, what it is and how it works and why it is so powerful. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. And oh, by the way, this is something that we dive deeper into inside of our program called Course. So if you want to learn more about that, you can click the link below and book a call with our team and we'll see you there. So the first concept I want to talk about, right, is the YouTube flywheel and why this is so powerful and also how it works. And the concept of a flywheel is basically, you do one thing. This one thing feeds into the next, which empowers the third thing, and then finally it also makes the fourth thing even better as well, right? So it's like a constant flywheel. The more it grows, the faster it grows, and the more it grows and the faster it grows, right? And so I use a YouTube flywheel to basically make this amount of money. So let me break it down for you, right? So here on the top, what I do, right, it's pretty simple, is that I create content. And I will tell you exactly what type of content I do here, right, in a second. But the same rule applies for everybody. The first step is you create videos. You create videos like this one, you post on YouTube, you can post once per week, twice per week, 3 times per week, and post every day if you want to, but we create content, right? That's step number 1. Step number 2, what happens from this, right, is that you start to grow a bigger audience. The more videos you post, the more viewers you get. The more reviewers you get, the more subscribers you get. The more subscribers you get, the bigger audience you're growing, right? You can also build your audience here with an email list and a bunch of other cool stuff as well, right? But you create content and you grow, you create a bigger audience, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Then what happens at point number 3 here is that once you grow a bigger audience, right, you get more traffic, you get more attention. If you're selling something of your own, a product that I will talk about a little bit later in this video, you start to generate more sales or more money, right? The more eyeballs, the more attention, the more sales you make. And then what happens at point number 4 is that you increase or you get more social proof. And then from the social proof, you can create more content. And what happens then when you create more content with the social proof? Well, you grow your audience even bigger, you're getting more traffic. With more traffic and more attention, you make more sales, you make more money. And with more sales and more money and bigger audience, now you have more social proof, so you can create more content about that, and so the flywheel goes. This flywheel, by the way, can be applied to any type of channel, any type of business that is using the strategies I'm going to talk about in this video today. If you use YouTube and sell your own products, and I will tell you what product I recommend that you sell as well, then you can use this flywheel no matter what type of product you have. In my case, right, I create content about YouTube plus courses. That's kind of my content that I create here, right? And then from that, I get a bigger audience. Again, I get more views and subs. Here again, I make more money, as mentioned, right? I get more sales because of this. And since I teach people about YouTube and courses, and as I grow my audience and make more sales in my course, I get more social proof that I can do this as well, right? But again, the same goes for, let's say you create content about dogs, right? You're leash training dogs, a YouTube channel. The bigger audience you get, right? The more views and subs you get of people who want to learn how to leash train their dogs, the more sales you will get into your own product as well. And then you will get more social proof because you will have more customers, you will have more testimonials, you will have an even bigger audience, a bigger YouTube channel, which also builds a lot of trust and credibility as well. And then from that, you will make more content about this and you will make more sales, right? So this is concept number 1. Just having a YouTube flywheel with your own products is absolutely massive. And this was a big reason why I was able to make $2 million last year. And hopefully, most likely, we'll make even more money this year because this flywheel will just grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So now what I want to dive into is point number 2, which is the monetization strategy. So let's do that next. Most people, when they hear making money from YouTube, all they think about is like ad revenue, right? Or sponsorship deals or brand deals. And I like to call this the old way. And the old way is basically that you have ad revenue plus brand deals, right? Because I'm sure if you've been watching YouTube channels, right, it's, they have ads on them, obviously, but also normally on like big YouTube channels like Joe Rogan, for example, he has like brand deals with BetterHelp and all of that, right? Or, there's a shaving brand as well. Like there's a bunch of different stuff, right? And if you have millions of followers, if you have millions of views, yes, you can make good money from ad revenue, but I'm actually going to show you that it's not as impressive as you think it is. And with brand deals, yes, you can also make a lot of money from that, but you need like a massive audience. And if you're starting out and you just want to make, let's say, $10,000 per month, which is actually not that hard if you do it the right way. It can be extremely hard to make $10,000 a month with YouTube if you leverage this though, because you need to build a huge audience. So let's break down those numbers, how you get to $10,000 per month, the old way, and then compare it with the new way that I think is a lot better, right? So if we break this down then with ad revenue, if you have $2 RPM, which basically stands for revenue per 1,000 views, right? I would say this is probably on the low end. And if you have like a little bit higher, you can have $5 RPM. But this is like, if we have 2 RPM, and then we can have another example here, which is $5 RPM as well, right? So let's say you want to get to $10,000 per month at $2 RPM, right? Then you will need 5 million views per month. That's a lot. And it's not just that you need to do this 1 month. You need to get 5 million views every single month to make $10,000 at the $2 RPM, right? So if you're posting 1 video per week, right? To make $10,000 per month, you need to get more than 1.2 or 1.25 million views on average per video to make $10,000 per month. That's insane. And same thing here then. If you have $5 RPM and you want to make same thing here, right? $10,000 per month. Now you need, right? 2 million views per month, right? Which is still a lot. You need like more than 500,000 views per video if you post once per week. So I'm not a big fan of this, honestly. And yes, you can argue that, yeah, well, if I have like those brand deals and such, yes, you can make more money then, but it's like, if you're gonna make money this way, it's tough, especially when you're starting out. And this is the misconception that I want to share with people, that it's not about getting millions of views. People are like, yeah, like, I'm never gonna get those millions of views like Mr. Beast and all of that. And because I can do that, I'm not gonna be able to make any money. False, 100% false. I get like, up until this point last year, I had 1 video that got 200,000 views, and then the rest of them got like between 2,000 to 5,000 views, and I made $2 million. How's that possible? Well, I monetized it in a different way. So let's break this down. And I obviously like to then call this then the new way, right? So what's the new way? Well, the new way is this. If you make 1 video, let's say, per week, and you get 500 views per video, that's 2K views per month. That's not a lot. You can 100% make 1 video per week that get 500 views. Or you make 2 videos per week at 250 views per video to get to 2,000 views per month, right? This is not hard. We're not talking hundreds of thousands. Now we're talking 2,000 views per month instead of 2 million or 5 million, right? Huge difference. And this is possible for anybody out there, right? But instead what you can do then, right? Instead of relying upon the ad revenue or brand deals, what if you have your own product, right? That you sell for, let's say, $2,000. And this is what I teach people how to do, by the way. This and YouTube as well. I teach people how to create digital products that you can sell, right? And just for the sake of this video, let's say you sell a digital product for $2,000, right? And yes, you can 100% do that. All you need to do is to convert 0.25%, which is then 5 people from your 2,000 views, to then make 10K per month. So this is obviously a lot easier to do. And the secret then is basically that we're not chasing views. We're not chasing millions or subs or millions of views or millions of subscribers, any of that. The only thing we want to figure out is, are there a group of people out there who currently are here and they want to get here, right? Just checking that you can see that. Yeah. And they want to get here, right? Whatever that is. They're currently out of shape. They want to get in shape. They're currently, don't know how to play golf. They want to become really good at golf. They don't know how to surf. They want to learn how to surf. They don't know how to knit. They want to learn how to knit. There's a lady, by the way, making more than $100,000 per month teaching people how to knit. So this is basically how the world economy works. People are here. They want to get here, whatever that is. And if you can help them to bridge this gap with a digital product, like an online course, for example, you can charge money for that, right? And you don't need millions of people to do this transformation. You can have 5 people each month that pay you $2,000 to solve this problem. You're making 10K per month. A lot easier. So now the next thing I want to talk about, right, is how do we generate not only a bunch of traffic, but the right traffic? How do we generate less people, but the right people who want to take this transformation and then want to buy from you eventually? How do we do that? Let's dive into that next. And the way we find those buyers, right, is that we create what I like to call a trust building engine, right? And the way you build a trust building engine is that we have free content and we have paid, right? Because a lot of people are asking me like, what do I share for free and what do I share in my paid stuff? Well, the thing with free stuff, right, on the YouTube channel is that you can share very specific things, right? If I have a YouTube channel about dogs, let's say, about like puppy training or like training your puppy, right? And then I have a YouTube channel about that, but I also have a paid course about it, right? So confusion is then what do I share for free and what do I put in my course? Well, when you do the free stuff, it can be very specific videos, right? Like how to potty train your puppy, or how to leash train your puppy, or what to do when you take your puppy to the vet, or how to start to train your puppy at home. Like it can be very like specific videos, right? To get attention, as we talked about in the flywheel, right? But then when people buy into the course, a huge value point of the paid course is that everything is laid out step by step, right? They don't have to like sporadically go through a bunch of videos on YouTube and try to piece it together themselves. In the paid course, it's more like a journey. They're taken from A to C and it bridges the gap, right? Like it solves their problem. From A to C and everything is laid out. They can start with the first video, go through the course, and at the end of it, they're basically done, right? Whereas in the free stuff, you just share like bits and pieces, and then you use this free content to get them into the paid, right? And so let's talk about more like the trust building engine. Like how do we take them from the free into the paid, right? So the first thing here, as I said, right? Solve specific problems, right? So you solve very specific problems in your free content, right? How to do X. Here's how I did Y, like very specific stuff, right? The next thing you want to do here, right, is that you show your expertise as well, right? Because as you're teaching this stuff for free for people, now if you remember the flywheel that we talked about, right? The more content you create, the more traffic you get, right? And the bigger your audience becomes. And as your audience becomes bigger and the more attention you drive to yourself, the more sales you will make, right? And you make that sales because you're building trust as you're creating free content, and you also start to show your expertise, right? If you're watching this video right now, then you start to be like, Max kind of knows what he's talking about here. Like I can see that he's growing his YouTube channel. I can see that he's selling his own online courses. I can see that he made $2 million last year and he's continuously growing his business, right? And continuously creating more videos, right? You start to understand that I have knowledge in this, right? I have an expertise in this because I'm doing this myself. And that is now building trust, right? And also what you can do with your free content here, right? Is that we can just help people get like quick wins, essentially, right? So we can share simple, quick things that people can start to implement to get quick wins. For example, like do this with your dog to don't make it poop in-house, right? Or do this to train your puppy to blah, 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 right? You give them quick wins to build trust as well. And then in the paid, as we said here we have the complete roadmap, right? So as in here, right? But from A to C, like here's not just like specific problems or like sporadically videos. Here's like a complete roadmap from A to C, how you solve X, right? You also, what you do when you get into the paid, right, is that you offer support, right? That's also a huge thing. When you go from the free into paid, you get a complete roadmap. You also get support, right? It also saves time, right? It's like the fastest path from A to Z. You could do it in your free content, maybe to just piece it together or read yourself, go to the library, or Google around and do all of this stuff. But if you go into the paid stuff, it saves you time, you get there faster, you have a complete roadmap, and you get help and support to get there as well, right? And it doesn't really have to be harder than this, right? You know the flywheel, you know the monetization strategy, and you also know that you do free content and you have paid content, and you use the free to get people into the paid, and use free as well to build trust as well, right? Now, another question that a lot of people have as well is like, what should my business be about? If I want to do YouTube and sell online courses, like I don't know anything. I don't have any expertise that I can monetize. And I know that you have. All of us have some type of passion or skill or expertise or interest, right? Maybe you love playing golf or surfing or skating or painting or knitting, or maybe you're really good at running ads, or maybe you're really good at sales or whatever. Maybe you're good at kayaking, or maybe you're really good at travel hacks, whatever it is, right? You have a skill or an interest or a hobby or passion that you share with millions of people around the world. And you don't have to be a pro at this thing. You just have to be able to take people from a current situation to their desired situation. And you don't have to be Tiger Woods to help people start playing golf. Like, I could teach people how to start playing golf. Like, here's the clubs you need, here's your stance, here's, simple basics when you start your swing. Like, here's what you do on tee or on the green and the bunker. Like, I could teach people how to get started with golf, and I don't have to be Tiger Woods, right? So the main thing then is just to learn how to identify something that people want to buy out there in the marketplace, and then get guidance and step-by-step instructions on how to take that thing that you now know and package that into a course, and also have a plan for your marketing strategy, basically YouTube, and then find synergy between your content, your free stuff, and your paid stuff. Because if you have free content on YouTube about cats, and then you're trying to sell a paid course about dogs, it's not really gonna work, right? So it's about understanding that synergy between your free content and your paid, and also then getting help on how to get started with YouTube and how to actually build the course. So if that is something that you're interested in, again, you will find a link below this video, and you can go and check out our program. We have a free training there. And if you feel like you're a good fit for working with us, you can also book a call with my team, and I will personally make sure that we hook you up with a specialist on what we do, and we will help you out, and we'll see you there. Let's go.